Hey everyone, it's Dr. Cooper, and it's week 2, and I want to go through assignment number 2 today, just in case anyone needs a little extra help. But I know most of you are good at following directions, and you shouldn't have any trouble doing this assignment. So if you scroll down, you'll see that this assignment 2 is due on Friday. So I'm going to go down to where the assignment is listed, and you see that there are there's a link that says assignment 2 instructions. That's where you want to start. We're going to take probably about an hour to 2 hours to do this assignment, so make sure you give yourself enough time to complete it. Okay, so one of the key things that I wanted you to get out of this assignment is that using the databases to search for sources is going to be the number one place to do the majority of your research. I know most people want to search Google because it's fast, it's easy, but it's not going to be reliable for you, especially if you're writing an academic paper. So I provided this little video for you that talks about databases versus Google and the insistence of the character in the video on using Google. I hope that you all don't feel the same way and that you will learn how to search the databases because, again, they are the best way to do research in college. All right, so I also want to point out that assignment 2 is your first Odyssey assignment. Odyssey is just a journey. Comes from the Greek epic poem written by Homer, where the main character, whose name is Odysseus, sort of travels around on a journey through all of these different islands, and it's sort of an adventure. And I like to look at research as that way. It's a journey, and so you are beginning your journey today. So this is first Odyssey. All Odyssey assignments are mandatory. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be going to the library. So I'm going to click on this first link, and if you are accessing it from home, you can click the second link for instructions on how to do the assignment, or excuse me, how to get logged into the databases. All right, so once you open up the page for the GCC library databases, you'll want to choose a database to search. Now remember, we're doing a very general search, and you haven't decided on your topic yet. You're just exploring topics. So maybe you want to explore one of the topics that I've given you, like the Planned Parenthood one, or the safety versus security one. And so all you're going to do is search one of the databases. I recommend, first off, just doing one of the general searches, and using Academic Search Complete will help you because it searches multiple databases, okay? And you'll find lots of full text articles in there as well. Go ahead and click that one. But you can use any of those databases as you want. All right, now I'm at home, so just like you might be, I need to type in my MEID and my password, the same password that I use to log into my email and into my Canvas, and that's going to take me into the databases. It says, hey, we recognize you. All right, so I'm in the assignment. Now, what is it that I'm looking for? Well, again, I'm looking for articles that are relevant to the topics I'm exploring. And so if you remember, we read different articles for assignment number 1, and then we also had a discussion forum where many of you brought up some different topics that you might want to explore. Just because you choose it for this assignment doesn't mean it's the assignment that, or the topic that you're choosing for your final paper. All right, so we're looking for 4 citations, and citations are just the documentation of, the reference of the source. So if you find the magazine article, you grab the reference information, which we refer to as a citation as well. Now, as you find these things, you're going to create a document, and in the document, you're going to put all of the things that I'm asking you to do. So right now, in order for me to search, if I'm searching for Planned Parenthood, I don't want to just type in Planned Parenthood. I mean, I could, but I need to know some other search words that can help me so that I can find the most available sources. And so I can add in different words. You saw when I started typing in Planned Parenthood that the search engine starts to give me some. Here's one. We were talking about it being defunding. So I'm going to add that word, defunding, to my list. Okay, so the very first thing I want to do is add to the new word list. So I have a new word list. I'm going to cut and paste that into my assignment. And the first new word I have is defunding. I'm I'm going to go ahead and write that word down, and I'm going to come up with a couple of words. Right now, I'm going to go back and start doing the assignment. I'm searching for some articles. So I'm back in my EBSCO host, and I'm going to search. So I have in my 3 words, hit search, searching. All right, so I found 21 sources. Now you're thinking, 21 sources, that's it? I could find 2,000 on Google. But the point is that this is more reliable. You're going to find sources that are credible, and you don't have to sort through those 2 million hits on Google. You're going to find what you need right here, and you don't have to worry as much about what comes up. Okay, so I have 21, and I can choose 4 from here, or I could go back and even do more searching. But the first thing you want to do is check out the articles. Now, you don't need the full text for all 4, so you don't have to worry about that right now, but I like to choose ones that have the full text. If you go ahead and hit on the title, it'll open up the article for you, and it'll give you all of the information that you need. Now, if you want to actually see the full text article, you would hit the PDF full text right here to pull that up. Now, we talked about plagiarism in the class. One of the things that you don't want to do is just cut and paste this abstract, because an abstract is a summary of the article, and you have to write your own summary. If you just cut and paste the abstract, you are plagiarizing. So you do not want to do that. So resist the temptation to plagiarize. Okay? Because if you get caught plagiarizing on any of your assignments, that would be a 0 and possibly being expelled from the class. So resist the temptation to plagiarize. Okay, so after you take a look, you read the abstract, you say, hey, that's one of the articles that I want. I'm going to put it in a folder until I get 4. So I hit that, and now I see that this is yellow. That means my folder has 1 article. Now let's say I look at all of these, and I'm being very selective. Right now I'm not being very selective because these don't even look like they're about Planned Parenthood. But I'm just going to show you how it works once you choose 4. So I have my 4 articles. Okay, and when I scroll back up, I can see that I have 4 in there. So now I want to go to that folder. All right, so these are the 4 articles that I need. Now the assignment, that sounded weird, articles. Okay, the assignment says copy the bibliography citations for the 4 articles. Now, you're going to want to put these in RefMe, but the reason why I like the databases is I can do that later. Right now, what I want to do is just go ahead and get these articles formatted correctly using the citation format that's required, which is MLA 8. I can do that directly from here. So I'm going to go ahead and say all of my 4 choices. And then I want to, I want to email it to myself because I want to be able to have the article so that I can actually read them later. But I can also print them. I don't know why anyone would want to print. I could save it as a file as well. So let's choose that one because I'm on my own computer at home. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now, what it does is it allows for you to choose the formatting style that you want. So we want to say citation format. And then we want to choose the MLA. Choose MLA. And then, of course, if you have the full text of the article, you want to include that so you'll have it. You don't need it for this assignment, so you can do one of 2 things. You can unclick it or you can include it. It's up to you. I'm just going to do it without it for this one. And I'm going to click Save. Okay, so this is my works cited. And these are the sources right here. So it's not going to actually be a works cited for us, so I'm going to edit that once I put it on my assignment sheet. All right, so these are my citations. I haven't come up with any more words yet, so we're going to do, B, so 4 citations. And I'm going to go ahead and put those here. So Control V. Now, we don't need them to be lettered, so I can take those letters away. There we go. And this is actually going to be a working bibliography for us right now. Okay, so I have my working bibliography, which are the 4 citations, and they're formatted. Now, this isn't a real working bibliography, so I'm not going to worry so much about if these are indented the way they're supposed to be and double-spaced. We'll worry about that later, but right now, they are formatted correctly. Now, you can add these to RefMe later because you want them there. And if you put them there, when we switch from MLA to APA, it'll switch it for you. And so you don't want to have to come back into here and do all of that craziness. All right, so I have my 4 citations now. Let's go back and see what I need to do next. So C says locate the full text of one of the citations. Oh, I forgot. 2 of my articles have to be journal articles, and then 2 can be magazines or newspapers. So let's go back and take a quick look at these. The USA Today is a newspaper, so that's one newspaper. Time.com is a magazine, so that's a magazine and a newspaper. And then we have Church and State, which we're not quite sure what that is, so we can go back and check it out. And then we have the National Right to Life News, which sounds like another newspaper. So if you want to find out what these are, you can go back in. For one, you can actually search it. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Church and State. I'm also going to show you quickly how to find some new words. Okay, so see here when I click on the article, Church and State is a hyperlink. And so if I click on that, it'll take me to the source of that publication, and I can get more information about it. Okay, so you can see that it just lists it as a periodical, and its description is analysis of relationship between religion and government. And then there's a website. So if I click on the website, it'll take me out to their website. Okay, so if this is a professional organization, then this is probably going to be the scholarly type of source that we want to be able to use. So I'm going to go ahead and click on About and see who these people are and what they're all about, basically. So let's go ahead and hit About. All right. So we could say it's Americans United, represents members and supporters in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. We come from different religions, political, philosophical viewpoints, but we share a common commitment to church-state separation and individual freedom. Okay, so it doesn't seem as if it's a academic site, but it doesn't mean that it's not a trusted site. So we would not consider this one necessarily a scholarly journal for the purposes of this assignment. So we would have to go back and find one. Doesn't mean that you can't use the article, but I want for you to dig and search for scholarly articles. Now we're actually going to do this assignment again where we focus on all scholarly articles. So in some cases, I might let you get away with them, but Time Magazine, no, that's very clearly a popular magazine. And USA Today is very clearly one of the most popular newspapers. Okay, so let's go back and finish the assignment with the sources that I've chosen already. All right, so what I need to do now is to locate the full text of one of the articles, and then I want to cut and paste that full text into my assignment. I'm going to go back, and if you recall, all of my sources had full text, but many of them were full text PDFs. And so if you have a PDF file, you're going to have to convert it so that you can put it into a Word document. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's go back. Okay, so the first 2 that I chose are HTML full text, HTML full text. And what that means is the text is freely available for you to cut and paste and put into your assignment. Anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and highlight all of this text for the article. It's a very short one because, again, it's a magazine article. And I'm just going to copy all the text, and I'm going to paste it into my assignment. So you only have to do this for one of your articles. So this will be C, full text. Okay, so now we have the full text of the article. And now we are pretty much done with this assignment. So let's go back and make sure we have everything else. Now remember I said that if your article is PDF, you can't actually just cut and paste it like that. So I've given you some instructions on how to convert your PDF to a Word document. If you click this link, it'll take you to the Ebook Converter, and you'll want to go PDF to doc, and then upload your PDF to this website. And make sure you don't hit any of these. Hit this one right here where it says upload your files, find your PDF file, and then hit convert. And you'll get text that you can then cut and paste into your article. Okay, so once I have found my full text source, I have my working bibliography, which I'm going to then add in the 2 articles that I read from assignment number 1, and then I'm pretty much done. So what I'm going to do now is save the document, upload it into Connect. And once I do that, here's how I'm going to get to Connect. So let's go back to my document. Let's finish it up really quick. So I'm using MLA style, and so for MLA style, we want to make sure that I click up into the margin here. All right, and then I'm going to tab over to the right. All right, there we go. So we're going to go top of the page, right here. Oops, I took away my Smith. I'm going to write Smith again. Okay, so now what happens is every page that you have will now have that page number MLA style at the top. So, and it'll change the number for you. So see, page 2 automatically changes to page 2. And if I had a page 3, it would be Smith 3. Okay, so now I'm ready. I just need to save this. So let's save it. Okay, so now we go back and let's hit this submit button. When we hit this submit button, it's going to take us over into Connect. We get a brief stop on this page, and some of you will actually have to hit the submit or load button. I forget what it's called. Others of you will just automatically flip over like we're doing right now. Okay, so this is what the assignment looks like. Okay, so all the instructions are the same instructions that you see over in Canvas. And so it tells you that you need to, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit upload a file. And there it is, right there. Okay. So if we go ahead and say either preview. Okay, so it says, okay, I got it. And now you might see a couple, maybe something a little different when you upload your document, because I'm the instructor, I might get different prompts. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. Let's make this just a little bit smaller here. All right, so you have your progress wheel, and these are the different strategies that I want for you to work through to analyze this article that you just chose. Now, the idea is that you haven't really read through it thoroughly, and you want to read through it so that you can find sources that you would be able to use in a future paper. Now, again, this may not be your topic, but it might be. So we're going to learn to analyze the sources that we find. So what you'll see is a ring, a circle, with orange, green, and blue. Orange is what you would do before you read an article. Green is what you do during an article, and blue is what you would do after reading the article. So I like to go in order. So the first thing that you want to do is click on this and read what it asks for you to do. So it's all about that new word list, which, oops, I forgot to finish. Dagnabbit. No problem. We can fix it here. So it says, how did you come up with the new words for your list? How do you think these words will help you in the future search or research on your topic? Well, the first thing that I did was I found new words when I started typing in the topic into the search window. Okay. I'm not going to spend my time in that. Now, the other way that you find new words is when you are looking at the articles themselves. So let's go into this one. A lot of times, there'll be some words. Look right here, author supplied keywords. So population, support, federal, defund, Americans. These are all new words. I could cut and paste these words and add them to my list. So it's a little late for me to do that for the actual part that I uploaded, but that's okay. I can say that in this assignment. Let's go back to the assignment and I can say, I also found new words in the articles that I found. Some, because not all of them will do this, but some of them will have these author-supplied keywords. Okay, some had author-supplied keywords. Okay, so once I answer that question, I save it, and now I can go back over to my wheel and click on the next article, or the next area. The next one is citations for the 4 sources. So you did that part, right? So it says, were you able to find 2 journal articles? How do you know they are journal articles? Okay, so remember what I told you about how you could search? So you could say I Googled the title, I clicked the link within the database to check to see, I asked people that I know. You may be right, you may be wrong, but we'll talk more about it later. I want you to be able to look and know where to look. Many times the databases will tell you. Okay, so go ahead and write that information in there. Save it. Go to the next item. So I think you can figure out the rest. You'll have to identify your purpose for reading. You'll define the author's purpose. You'll find and evaluate supporting details. You'll highlight and annotate. Now on these green ones, it's going to ask for you to highlight and annotate. So you'll see that there are some instructions here. So it says how to annotate. Use your cursor to highlight text. All right, so I'm going to scroll down. So here you can see this is the paper that I uploaded. And so it's asking me to highlight some text. And then I'm going to highlight the author's main point. And then what support does the author use to prove that main point? So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. And I'm going to say the main point is probably the first sentence if it's a newspaper article. And that seems to be the case here. So I'm going to highlight that. Hit this little pencil thing. And say, this is the author's main point. All right, so what else am I supposed to say? Go back up and look. What support does the author use to prove the main point? Highlight one piece of support and paraphrase it. Okay, so I can go ahead and finish this. So I'm going to save it. And you can see it stays highlighted, and when you hover over it, it says this is the author's main point. Now what support? Well, here's some support right here. By 58 to 33%, those surveyed said the group's funding shouldn't be eliminated. Well, that's the support of the main idea. So I would say this statistic is a big support to the main idea. Okay, and so I want to do that for maybe 1 or 2 times. And once I'm done with it, I will save it right here and go back to the will and finish. Now the last part is just your working bibliography. And so it just asks for you, did you format your working bibliography using the correct MLA? What's one thing you look for when you're checking to see if it's correctly formatted? Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. And so for MLA, we know that we have the author's last name is always first, and then the full first name is MLA. So I look for that. If it were APA, it would just be the first initial. Also, we point out that the date doesn't come until the end, whereas APA, the date is right away. So these are some of the things. Now, if you watch the lessons that I gave you, that's what I'm asking for you to tell me. How do you know it's MLA? What are you looking for to see if it's done correctly? In this case, you also would be looking for the second lines to be indented. But because this isn't a real working bibliography in this case, I didn't ask for you to do that. But some of you will do that, and you can say that. You can state that. Also in MLA, we italicize the title of the periodical. So you can see USA Today, Time, Church and State, National Right to Life. It's different using other formats. Okay, now once you're finished, and you click on your progress wheel, and it'll show that you're finished. Once you are finished. I'm not finished, so it's not showing me that. There'll be one last thing for you to do, and that's just basically talk about your process of doing this assignment. And then once you're done, you'll be able to submit the assignment, and then you can go back to GCC. So that's pretty much the gist of the assignment. It's pretty simple. You're going to find some great resources. The key thing, though, is that we're not using Google, and that we're looking for periodicals that are scholarly, so journal articles. There's a lesson that talks about what the difference is between popular sources and professional sources. Popular sources are going to be your magazines and newspapers, and professional or scholarly sources are going to be the journals. And I want for you to sort of try to look for those journals. Not all of them have to be journals, but you want to at least have 2 journals. Okay, that's it. And if you have any questions, you can send me a message in Piazza.